Hello, fellow social distancers, and welcome to this edition of Quaran-Stream, where Entertainment Weekly staff works from home the same way we do at the office, telling each other about what we're watching. I'm Senior TV Editor Gerrad Hall, and joining me today are Entertainment Weekly Editor-in-Chief J.D. Heyman, Staff Editor David Canfield, and critic Leah Greenblatt. It's so nice to see all of you. How are you doing?
Hey, Gerrad.
Hi.
I'm okay. I had a lot of problems getting hooked into all this.
He did. That's all right. That's all right.
He did. Can confirm.
That's all right. As we found out on this show, a lot of people are using quarantine to binge new shows or do a deep dive into old classics, which of course you can check out all those on other episodes of Quaran-Stream. And it is a great time for that, but it's also the perfect time to run through classic movie franchises. And there are so many of them. So
many.
So JD, let's hypothetically say you had all the time in the world to dive into a movie franchise. What would you want to watch?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Because I have a very soft spot for those movies, and I haven't watched them really since they were in their first circulation. Like maybe I watched them all together all at once when they were all in release. Not the Hobbit one.
Gotcha.
That was not good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I might do something really old-fashioned, like, go back and watch the Thin Man movies or something. Or Bond movie. I was only supposed to give you one. So I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I like that pick so much. And obviously, Peter Jackson did just such phenomenal work with those. I mean,
I think he might be part Hobbit.
Leah, you have reviewed thousands of movies for EW over the years. What's the franchise you'd like to go back and take your time to luxuriate in?
Well, Darren Franich, my esteemed colleague, gave me a crash course in Fast and Furious'.
Yeah.
What is the plural?
Right.
So I did do that one. I don't want to do it again. I'm going to say one thing, though. I've had to review some Transformers movies, and I'm not a huge fan, but Bumblebee. It's very like a John Hughes teenage sort of like, and kind of like an 80s Spielberg movie too. Yeah. And it's just really charming. So like, if I have to pick one robot, it would be the Bumblebee movie in the Transformers franchise. But I am going to say, and this is like such an asterisk, but it is 3 movies: Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight.
What great choices. You just get to sit and like be enveloped in their lives in that relationship. That's a nice pick too.
And if you are a Richard Linklater fan, I mean, it's very talky. He's a talky man, but I love it. David, you do too, right?
I slightly cheated and watched the first one, Before Sunrise, last night again. And actually, I think that was a mistake because watching Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy tour Vienna was weirdly heartbreaking for me. There's one scene in a Viennese cafe where they do these fake phone call banter, and it's just so perfect.
Yes,
and
it's just in this opulent,
and it's in this opulent, gorgeous Viennese cafe, and it's just
and talks about Ethan's greasy hair. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
They talk a lot in those movies. I think you'll discover that in Lord of the Rings, they don't talk as much. They don't spend.
I told David I will take Viggo on a horse. Like I'm not immune to that.
He's not going into some Viennese cafe and being like pretending. That's not happening.
Watch that though.
He's saving elves.
He's saving and battling orcs. No, that's correct. He battles orcs or like goblin-y things, and the elves, you're correct, are the arch enemies of the orcs.
And they have better hair.
They do. Speaking of hair, the orcs probably wash their hair more than Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke do in those movies.
Wow. JD is really putting up a good fight.
I washed my hair for you guys today.
They look great in that movie. Those kids, they look amazing in that.
Well, stick around. We are going to be back with more Quaran-Stream in just a moment. Welcome back to Quaran-Stream. Today we're looking at the movies that were so fun, one of them wasn't enough. So when people think about movie franchises, they often think of action movies, but not all franchises have car chases and crazy stunts. David, I know you have said you also love the Before Sunrise trilogy, but what would you recommend to people who are looking to explore a more cerebral movie franchise while social distancing at home?
A cerebral movie franchise. Well, I have
Yeah.
to say that Leah did steal my before pick.
But that tells you how great those movies are. Lots of
It
people
tells
pick
you
them.
how great
Yeah.
those movies are. I do think in general, Lee and I are sort of interesting choices to discuss movie franchises because we tend to just love cerebral movies in general. Um, I also wanted to shout out a childhood favorite, which is the Harry Potter movies, which is probably a very obvious pick. But I've never watched them all the way through. And one of the things that I love about both the books and the films is being able to watch these kids grow up and watch the maturity of the stories and their narratives develop along with, yourself as you grew up watching these movies. So that would be one to revisit.
Yeah, and there are such great parental figures in there if you're looking like that kind of provide some comfort maybe in times of feeling like a little helpless, maybe a little magic is what we need in the world right now. So I like that pick a lot.
You know what? I forgot one too. I forgot Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah,
those are great. I
feel like you have to. I think are there six of them? I think
they're making the 7th one now.
Correct.
Or they
Yes.
were
Right.
before the
they were.
before the
Tom
fall.
Cruise will live to break another ankle one day soon.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop him.
And we should also say 21 Bond movies are streaming on Amazon right now.
Yes, JD mentioned Bond earlier, and that's one of my favorite. I can put on one of those anytime and get sucked right in. If there's a marathon I catch on TV, I'm done. I don't care what plans I have for the day. What film series are out there that you've never had a chance to experience yourself, but have always wanted to?
Well, I will say that one that I have never, I recommended Bond a little bit, but I think the Bourne movies are movies that we should go back and look at. And I think I've never tried to go all the way through them. In fact, to be honest, I've only kind of seen like maybe one or two, and I think that they probably make more sense and are more fun to watch all together. And they're just so fast paced and, great. So I would probably say that. And like David said, I actually have been tempted to try to do the whole Harry Potter all at once. I don't think that, I think that would be really fun. But Bourne would be the thing that I would really, really like to do. And then I think what I would love to do, including the last one, I did this many years ago, is watch the Godfather movies all the way through. See how much classier I am than the rest of you? Like you're all, I'm going to be like Fitzcarraldo is what I'll be watching.
Right, exactly. But it was a great time to sit and like really pay attention to those Godfather films.
They're great, and they really hold up. I think sort of
even 3.
Sort of. No, that doesn't. That wasn't a good one.
We're calling the franchise just only 2 movies.
The 2 ones, too, but you have to watch.
Still like 5 hours of movie. So
But it's fun to watch the 3rd one because then you're like, oh, not. It's like if you went to the Sistine Chapel and then you found a little, you looked at all the art and then you're like, there was something really janky in the corner and you're like, so even they can't do everything perfectly.
And that would be Sofia Coppola as an actress.
She dies at the end, I believe. Doesn't she fall down
Spoiler
some
alert.
stairs?
She hadn't found her calling yet. She was
That's right.
destined to be a director.
It pushed
not
her
an actress.
into a different thing. Oh, I know you didn't ask, but I know you can't really call these as series, but they all have the same aesthetic. I would watch all the Wes Anderson movies together.
Someone said that to me this morning when I said, what's a
I
good
love
franchise?
that.
They said, I think if they all have Jason Schwartzman in them, isn't that a franchise?
It's true. The thing that ties them all
I
together.
would watch anything with Jason Schwartzman in it, actually.
I was kind of thinking the same about, I was going to mention earlier, Hitchcock movies. I think would be a fun one just to kind of sit down and watch a lot of those same as you could do with Wes Anderson. Leah and David, something you haven't watched but want to get into?
I was going to mention, along those lines, the films of Bong Joon-ho. I've seen some of them, not all of them. Parasite's now streaming on Hulu, and he is such a singular director, like someone like Wes Anderson, whose films... I think one of the appeals of film franchises, and obviously I'm not talking about a franchise right now, but unlike a TV series, it's over a much longer period of time, so you get to grow with a cast or characters, or in this case, a director. And I do think there's something special, particularly about one who has just sort of reached a mainstream audience, finally going
The
back.
Host is so good.
I've seen The Host, and I've seen a couple others, but I would love to just run through those and see his evolution through to Parasite.
I like the idea of going back and visiting all the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
Because they're so smart and tense, and I would skip the Jeremy Renner one.
Oh my god, I forgot that existed.
Agreed.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's weird.
We envy you, David. No, but they're so well done, and weirdly, kind of like the Before Sunrise trilogy, they take you to all of these beautiful places. I mean, and then assassinate someone,
right.
but it takes you all over Europe. Sometimes you feel like you're in a Mentos commercial in those little tiny cars, and it just it's very transportive in a very intense way.
So true. I want to thank my guests, J.D. Heyman, David Canfield, and Leah Greenblatt. Join us next time for a whole new category of things to stream. For Entertainment Weekly's Quaran-Stream, I'm Gerrad Hall. Stay safe and stay inside.